a note about Anthony Harris. So obviously he's injured his right knee. We don't know the extent of it right now. We'll know that tomorrow. But the knee injured in high school is his left, but this is his right knee. Okay, so we don't know what it is. We'll know more tomorrow. Coach.
Okay. The only thing I'm thinking about right now is that young man. It's just a tough little nut who's worked his tail off to get back in this position. Our hopes and prayers are that there's nothing seriously wrong, but we won't know until they do all the tests and things like that. So my team is hurting for him right now. We're happy that we sneaked by. We didn't make the plays we'd like to make down the stretch. He shouldn't foul a three-point shooter, shouldn't touch somebody on his fingernail, let him lay it up to get another three-point play. Missed a 1-and-1 in there, so we did a lot of things, but most proud I was of my team is when they came out early in the second half and made those plays and all of a sudden took a lead, and then we came back and played very well for 4 or 5 minutes and got it back. B-Rod was something, made some big-time threes for us. Garrison, I think, 11 and 11. We need to play better, need to shoot better, need to defend better, need to do all those things. But first part of our season's over with, and now we see what it's like for the ACC. We've got to continue to improve this week.
Roy, is it hard to get your arms around the fact that you tied Dean Smith?
Yeah, it's it's a number. It means I've stayed around a long time, probably longer than some people want me to stay at places, but that's what it is. Scott Smith came out and said one thing, and I think he's right. He said Dad would be really happy, and I think he would be. But I've never. Is Jones in here?
Right there.
Right.
I never even knew this was even close. Till was it Winston-Salem this summer? Jones said something about it at the Rams Club meeting in Winston-Salem. I swear to God, I'll never hit another golf ball for this life. I thought I was 7,000 numbers away from him. I had no idea it was anything like that. So I didn't even know about it until it was May with the Rams Club meeting, because I don't look at those things. I've been very fortunate. I have been able to stay relatively healthy, and I've had really good kids who made me look good for a long time, and I'm very appreciative of them. From Mark Randall and Milt Newton and Kevin Pritchard and Sean Alvarado and all those guys to those guys in the locker room right now. And I'm very appreciative of 32 years of happy times in the locker room, acting silly and doing anything that we wanted to do. But this is it's a number. I'm very fortunate the teams that I've had have been so good, because I didn't become a head coach until I was 38, and I would have been very satisfied to have stayed and been Coach Smith's assistant until he left, and then Coach Guthrie's assistant until he left, and then Eddie Folger's assistant until he left. And then I'd have gone with Eddie. Except I'd have gone to the golf course, he would have gone to the track. So let's it's a number. And I'm pleased for my players. Yeah, I'm a little pleased for my family. I guess it means something, but I haven't talked to them about it. I haven't said a word to anybody in my family. Didn't say anything to anybody in the team. I didn't want to stay out there. Kirsch sort of insisted. I could have said no if I wanted to, and I'd out-quicked him getting to the locker room. But I'm sure it means something to my friends, people who have stuck with me, my foxhole buddies and all that things. And I see Kenny standing back there. And I think the players that I coached as an assistant, I think they're happy too, because those were tough times. Shoot, I was driving film, selling counters, freaking feeding my family. So it's, but the Carolina basketball family is the strongest there's ever been, there ever will be, and anybody else can do what they want to do, but I know that ours is the best and the strongest ever. Now, if somebody has another question about the game, I'll talk to you.
Can I ask you one question about that? You say it's just a number, but is it also a tribute to Coach Smith because you learned from him and he helped teach somebody that?
Well, I think every game I coach is a tribute to Coach Smith. I mean, I'm not one of those guys that talks about the Lord and where's what would Jesus do? And a lot of times I say, wonder what Coach Smith would do. But most of the time, the greatest advice he ever gave me the night before I left to go to Kansas as head coach. And I said something to him, and he said, just be yourself. He said, you're good enough. Just be yourself. If you be yourself, you're going to be one of the great coaches. So I've trusted that. That's what it's been. But I do coach every game for the players, not for Coach Smith and not for me. I coach every game for the players and try to do the best I can. Now, let's talk about something else.
Aside from what they actually bring to the game, what have Anthony and Jeremiah meant as far as their approach in getting back?
Some toughness was the biggest thing. I mean, guys, I'm dumbfounded how well that they played with such little practice that they've had. And, you know, it's crazy, the injuries that happen to people. I mean, you know, his other leg. I mean, and the good news is they worked on both legs trying to make both of them stronger. I mean, Jones Serration and Doug Hollerson, our trainer, nobody's ever worked with kids better than those two guys do. The best I've ever been around. And like I said earlier, I work out Mondays, Wednesdays, Friday morning in the weight room. I know it doesn't look like it, but I do. And I go there at 8 o'clock and they're there at 7:30 all fall. So I saw them all the time. And the work ethic that those kids showed and what they have been able to accomplish with such little practice. And that they're testing them. I mean, guys, they have ways now of testing when you jump how much strength you're getting out of one leg compared to the other leg. They do all that stuff. And it's just been fantastic for what they have done. They being Jonas and Doug, and they being Jeremiah and Anthony. So I've been surprised and elated with what those two kids have been able to do for us. And but again, this gotta say all our prayers and hope things come out okay.
Coach, speaking of Jeremiah,
Two more questions, that's it, okay?
Speaking of Jeremiah, what does it kind of say about his fearlessness? He had that big end one at the end of that charge early in the second half.
Well, the end one at Danny should have stopped beforehand. Okay, I mean, to be honest on that, because in our league, at our level of play, that every time you drive in there, it's going to be somebody to take a charge. So you got to be able to stop and go straight up. We're fortunate the kid was in the circle there. Evidently his heels were touching the circle. But I love Jeremiah for the toughness that he's already shown. The toughness on the basketball court is nothing compared to what the toughness he's already shown, how hard he's worked.
Coach, how do you feel about the progression of Brandon Robinson in this game, especially how he's had to step up with the injuries?
Yeah, you know, B-Rob missed some time for practice and hadn't shot at Super himself. You know, we got more guys shooting under 30 on our team than I've ever even known, much less had on one team. But he stepped up tonight and made some big baskets for us. And when he missed, I was really screaming at Garrison because Garrison didn't go to the board and there was nobody in front of him. The ball came off the front of the rim. Garrison could have gone straight in there. But B-Rob's toughness making those shots hopefully give everybody else some encouragement and some confidence too.
Coach, thanks.